sweetest thing in the world. And I just got really fascinated by them and started researching them. And then I learned that as they're growing underground, their apex, their growing tip, remember this is a plant, literally generates heat. Literally generates heat so that it can push up through the frozen soil, melt the ground around it, and then bloom in its own divine timing. And I feel like that's a lot of what a few of us are doing right now. Not to project, but maybe to assume a little bit. That is anyone else feeling that like, oh, that reawakening? We have to generate a little bit of heat. We have to go against the grain a little bit in order to create something new. So as we move through our practice, that will be the invitation to notice the places of disruption and notice how we show up in that moment. Whether we take it all as a and grit and bare our teeth, or is there a way that we can maybe have a little more receptivity to the disruption and remember that the cracks are where the light gets in, that the disruption is the only way that we can get something new and or different than what we've had in the past. So with that, this is Melissa. You probably remember her. She'll be on the mat and off the mat a little bit, so you can look up, and if my words aren't making 100% sense, also walking around the room. We might give some verbal, individual, one-to-one suggestions, and there might be an option for a hands-on assist. We always like to ask beforehand, so no surprises. Anything but a clear yes is a no. I always say this, I really don't want to touch people that don't want to be touched. So please, I know sometimes there can be that feeling of like, oh, the teacher wants to say that. No, just say no thank you, and it's all good. Today I'd like to start lying on the back, but with a little bit of a heart bench. So if you can take your blanket, and if you don't have a blanket, how are y'all doing in the front with this breeze?
I'm fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just don't really like the blanket. But I thought you were going to offer me the blanket.
No,
Okay.
you can just lay down, but we'll do heads facing the front of the room, but do take your blanket. And I can show another option with blocks, but I do really like this variation sometimes because it's a little bit softer. So take your blanket wide on your mat and then, yeah, roll it up. Make a little blanket burrito. I guess it's not really a burrito. That would be a long burrito. Like a churro. Love it. And then place it on your mat horizontal about 2/3 of the way. And then I found this morning, it might not work for you, but it works for me, hello, that if you lay back on your elbows, with your elbows just grazing the blanket and then lay all the way back. For me, that places the blanket right at the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. Yeah? So a little bit of a heart bench situation. Your hands can come into cactus or a goalpost shape. Elbows will come just above. Yeah, and even scooch up a wee bit more. Yeah, so it's like right at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades, right at the bottom back of your heart. Olivia, you can scoot up more. And if you like the variation with the blocks, you're welcome to take that. I'll scooch up the other way. Can you lift up a little bit?
Oh, like.
Uh-huh, yeah, now lay back, I'll place it for you. You feel that?
Oh, thank you.
Like a little baby back bend. Elbows can come out to the sides. Can I place blocks for you under your hands? Thank you. Of course. And then hands can be a little bit wider than your elbows. Just take up a little more space. We've been calling this cactus arms or trident arms. We are on the heels of the goddess, and she often makes a similar shape, so maybe we can even call these goddess arms. Up to you. Do you have a spot? You good, great, welcome. Glad you're here. Hi. And your legs could be long or your knees could be bent, feet flat on the floor. We're gonna make a couple more spots for folks. Hi, good to see you. Let's see where we can sneak you in. It might be a little tight, and when you, no, you don't have to do it now, or you can if you'd like. But I bet if we move some things, we could fit two people up here. Does that feel too tight for y'all, or is that okay? I'm just gonna scooch, Elise, I'm just gonna scooch your bag out of the way so that we can make a spot for someone else. Ooh, sorry, dear. Okay, I'm gonna just put it on the bolsters for now. Great. Is that all right? And then maybe when this row, when we get back up, y'all can scooch back a little bit just to make space. Thank you so much. Oh, full room. Beautiful. Now this blanket underneath your upper back is a disruption, yeah? It's a bit of a bump in the road. What could it feel like to allow your breath to move to that place, to this place at the back of your heart? Rather than running away from the disruption that we find, there is that invitation to soften into it, if maybe even just for a moment. And as you feel the parts of you connected to the earth, start to remember that your body is breathing. Notice the patterns of your breath here, where it likes to hover or float, where it may move with ease, or where it might feel like it's pushing up through sticky ground, through something that was once a little more frozen, but is starting to slowly defrost. Let your next inhalation move in and down to the back of your body, and then down deep into belly. You might feel belly rise and fall in a different way. And as you exhale from your depths, feel breath move up, through, and out in every direction. As you inhale, follow your breath in, down, back, and wide. As you exhale, follow your breath from your depth, up, through, and out. We come to this practice of yoga, maybe to feel good, to stretch, to move, to breathe, but more so, there is the opportunity, the invitation to be with what is. To turn inward towards your heart, a source of wisdom, so that you can be informed by your heart of how you want to move forward for all that is to come, for the rebirth that has been waiting. Another intentional breath in, down, wide. Exhale, up, through, out. You could keep your breath as it is. Or if you know and love the Ujjayi Pranayama, that little constriction at the top of your throat that makes your breath sound more like an ocean or a wave, you could add that too. If your legs are straight, bend your knees. Have your feet flat on the ground, feet hip-width distance apart. Maybe your knees one another for a moment, and just let your head roll to the right. Maybe open and close your jaw. And then as you inhale, head through center over to the left. Open and close your jaw. Inhale, head through center, heel toe your feet wider, maybe towards the edges of your mat. And then the next time you exhale, let your knees fall over to the right. Way to miss your water bottle. Inhale, knees through center, over to the left. A few times just like this, following the wave of your breath. Noticing how when your knees shift to the right, the opposite hip wants to lift. Disruption. You come through center for a moment of balance and then over to the other side. And you might pause on one side or the other as we have a little slow, sleepy wake up as winter moves into spring. Yeah, and maybe you roll your wrist or scrunch your toes or let them go. And then the next time your knees fall over to the right, roll over onto your right side. Start to press yourself up to tabletop position. Find your 2 blocks, place them at the very front of your mat. They might be off of your mat and off to the side a little bit, just easy access for when we need them. Set yourself up in tabletop position, so hands come underneath your shoulders and even a little wider than your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide like the rays of the sun. You remember the sun? So great. Big fan. And press the inner edges of your hands down so much so it's like the heels of your hands could get even lighter. Now take a moment, look back at your knees. See that your knees are coming straight down from your hips. And if you could see your feet on the inside or outside of your legs, just make them go away for now. I promise they're still there. Yeah, just make it in a straight line. Now feel all of the parts of you that are connected to the earth and press them into the earth so much so you start to feel everything facing the earth lift away. Yeah? Like a little snowball starting to press through. Now keep that, let your awareness move back to your breath, your intentional breath, in, down, wide. Complete breath up, out, through. As you inhale, start to lengthen your shoulders up towards your ears, get long. And as you exhale, round your back, look in towards your heart, take it into cat. Wait for your breath, let her lead the way. As you inhale, drop your belly, heart, tail, gaze to the sky, we'll call it cow. And you can keep moving like this, your exhale to round, and your inhale to arch. Start by linking breath here, letting each inhale, each exhale gently precede each side of the stretch. We're gonna make one more spot. Yeah, do you mind, Camden? Thank you, dear. Thank y'all. Good South Philly neighbors. We know how it's like row home life in the yoga studio. Now, I already see it happening. You might close your eyes or soften your gaze, or in your own way, turn inward. As practitioners of yoga, we don't turn away from the darkness. We actually turn into it. And maybe with that, you can see yourself more clearly. Is your body calling for more organic movement? Like one shoulder, one hip away from one another. Hips back towards heels. Circular motions through rib cage or pelvis. For more room, I got you. If you need it at the end, I'll bring it back. Yeah, and you might stretch one leg behind you. You might not. Can I steal one of your blocks for a sec? And then come back to your tabletop position just for funsies, for a little play with disruption. Take one of your blocks underneath your left hand on its lowest setting. A little off kilter, yeah. That's all right. Now keep that. Take an inhale, get long, and as you exhale, start to round your back, look in towards your heart cat. Inhale, belly drop, heart tail gaze to the sky. And again, exhale, round. Inhale, arch. A little rock in the shoe. But notice what that shifts from left to right. Start to make your way back to tabletop position. Press both hands into the earth, so much so you start to get light on your right hand. Take your right hand behind your head. As you inhale, get long. As you exhale, press your head back into your hand. On your next inhale, twist, open your heart to the right. Elbow to the right, that's the way. Exhale, curl in. Right elbow taps anywhere on your left arm that works for you. 2 more times, your inhale to unfurl. Exhale, curl. On this last one, notice if your hips go with you. Can you keep your hips solid? Inhale to unfurl. Exhale to curl in. Your next breath, take your both hands onto your blocks inside your front leg and just step your right foot forward, find your lunge. That's the way. Back knee can stay lifted or back knee can stay on the earth or back knee can stay lifted. As you inhale, reach both arms up. Right hand to left wrist. Before you go anywhere, look towards your heart, draw your ribs back. Take your arms back, lift your chin, press your head back. Inhale, find length. Exhale, side bend up and over towards the brick wall. The right. Send breath awareness all into your left side body. Inhale, flow through center. Exhale, both hands back to meet the mat. You can take it back to table or downward facing dog. You do you. Maybe wag your hips in your table, wag your hips in downward facing dog. And maybe let this moment of symmetry be a check-in. What has shifted? What has changed? Drop your knees to the mat. Take your right hand onto a block for 3 rounds of cat-cow with a rock in the shoe. You might notice that you can breathe up into that place where the blanket was on your right side in a different way. Come back to tabletop position. Press down into your right hand so much so you could hover your left fingertips off the mat, and then slide your left hand behind your head. Inhale, lengthen the crown of your head towards the front of the room. As you exhale, press your head back into your hand. Yes, feel the back of that place in between the shoulder blades light up. As you inhale, open, heart to the left, gaze to the left elbow. As you exhale, curl in, elbow towards right arm. Twice more, your breath. That's the way. I love the little break in the music. To hear the breath, take both onto your blocks, and then step your left foot forward, find your lunge. Hug your legs towards one another. Keep your knee down or lift your knee up to you. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Anytime we're moving forward, even just a one step, it's an act of destabilization. It's an act of disruption because you're going somewhere different, Take your left hand to your right wrist. Hug your legs towards center. Get long as you inhale. As you exhale, side bend up and over towards the left. Sorry about your water bottle. It's very cute, though. Me too. Breathe all into right side body. Inhale, flow through center. Exhale, both hands down to meet your mat or your blocks. Take it back to downward facing dog. And if you're like, oh, I have really short arms, try downward facing dog on blocks. It can really make a difference. Bend in your right leg, press your left thigh back, let your left heel get heavy towards the floor. And then switch sides. Both legs with a little bend. Start to press your hands down into the mat like you could grow roots into the earth. Hug your hands towards one another and feel your arms light up. Draw energy from the earth through your arms to the place where you had that blanket, the back of your heart. Now from the back of your heart, press your hands down and forward. Lift your hips up and back towards where the ceiling and wall meet one another. Press your thighs back. Let your heels soften. Take an inhale through your nose. Maybe exhale through your mouth. Breath back in and out through your nose. Start to look forward where you're headed. Bend your knees. Start to walk forward all the way up to the top of your mat. Take one of those blocks and place it in between your thighs on its skinniest setting. That's the way. Okay. And bend your knees a lot. Take your hands up onto your thighs. Sit down and back like you were sitting in a little baby grade school chair. And then inhale, just lift your chest and your head towards where the ceiling and wall meet each other in front of you. Chair pose or skier's pose. Now your midline, there's this place at center that you always have the invitation to dial into. Yeah, you guys remember The Sims? And they have that little thing on the top of their head. I always picture like the bottom of that point would go straight down through, and that's your midline, okay? Hug your legs towards the block. You feel that? Yeah, keep that. Breathe. Yeah. Notice if you have that tendency to let your sitting bones lift and lose connection to your ribs. Look towards your heart, takes your ribs back. Sitting bones down, shoulders back, maybe goddess arms. Breathe. Notice where your mind goes, where your breath goes when you're somewhere you don't want to be, longer than you probably don't want to be there. No judgment, just information. This is gonna be a crazy looking live stream. My face is right in the camera. As you sit down, come all the way up. Keep hugging your block. Right hand to left wrist. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, side bend up and over towards the brick wall. Hips pop over towards the flat wall. You might start to get more weight into your left foot. That you start to come high on your right toes. And as you ground down through all four corners of your left foot, maybe you flex your right foot. Unsteady ground. Hug your legs in towards the block, that's the way. Inhale, flow through center, both feet on the ground, switch your grip. Hug your legs towards the block, inhale, get long. Side bend up and over towards the flat wall. Hips might pop over towards the brick wall. And this is one of my favorite places to notice how the breath changes your relationship to sensation. Try taking an easeful breath here. Now take an intentional, deeper breath in. And does that change anything? I don't know, you tell me. Inhale, flow through center. Exhale, bend in your legs, hinge at your hips, fold. Bend so much that your chest and belly can get heavy to your thighs. Take your hands behind the backs of your calves. Bend your knees a lot. Press your calves forward towards the top of your mat. And then start to press the very center of your thighs towards the back of your mat to move your legs in the direction of straight, but without locking out. Do you feel that tension of opposites? Yeah. Calves forward. Center of thighs back. Head heavy. Maybe you nod your head yes. Shake your head no. Open and close your jaw. Reminder, everything I say is an invitation, so take it or leave it, but hands could come to the mat, block could stay where it is as you skitter your way back to downward facing dog. Awkward? That's okay, we practice for awkward. You could keep the block or ditch as you inhale forward, plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Press everything touching the floor into the earth. Feel everything else lift away. Knees can stay lifted or knees can come to the mat, up to you. Start to look forward. Take the very bottom of your heart where that blanket was, take that part forward. As you exhale, start to bend your elbows to lower down. Keep your shoulders lifting as you lower. Untuck your toes, tops of the feet into the mat. Hug the block here. Inhale, heart forward and up, cobra. Exhale, lower. Hug your legs into the block. Inhale up, lift, little baby cobra. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, up, lift, little baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Okay, I lied. One more, little baby cobra. Inhale, lift. Babyest cobra, yeah? Now hug your legs into the block. Press your feet down. Option to lift your hands off of the mat. Ooh, and you feel that place, the back of your heart? Yeah, light up. Think collarbones broad, shoulders up and back. Release. Plant your hands by your sides. Press up to table. Okay, now you can get rid of the block if you'd like. If you haven't already, which is totally fair. Take it back to downward facing dog. All right. Spread your hands wide. Press the inner edges of your hands down. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. Now look down or around your body and see if you can just about see your toesies, pedicure or lack thereof. Yeah, that's the way. Now if your toes are opening towards that brick side of the room or opening out towards the right side of your mat, can you dial your toes straight down to the mat? Find your right inner thigh, hug that to the midline like you had a giant imaginary block, and then from that place, lift your right heel a little higher, full breath in. As you exhale, step it through, around, give yourself a helping hand, find your lunge. Feel both feet on the ground. Blocks can always come to any height to serve you. Hug your legs towards center. Inhale, arms up. It's so good to see you. Breathe. No one ever talks about how lunge is a balance pose, but do you feel that inherent weeble wobble? Hug your legs front to back like you could put a wrinkle in the middle of your mat. Nice. Now press down into both feet to reach up through both thumbs, maybe soften into your front leg. Hands can stay overhead or hands can come to hips. Really press your front foot down, drag it back. Little bend in your back leg. One step or many, come all the way up, left knee towards the chest, flex left foot, outer ankle over knee, sit low, pigeon chair. I know it's like chair, but somehow maybe worse. As you sit down, sit back. Try and stick your booty out a little bit here. And then draw your ribs back a little bit here. Take your shoulders up and back. Oh yeah, breathe. Your next inhale, come up, knee towards chest, soft bend in your standing leg as you slow motion thread it all the way back to your lunge. Inhale, arms up. That one always just feels like the little gymnastics finish to me, like, woo, we made it. Exhale, hands down onto your blocks. Keep your left hand on your block, take your right hand to your hip. Wrap your right outer hip back. Lengthen through the crown of your head, and as you exhale, start to twist your heart towards the right. Now, before you go any farther, look at your left shoulder. Did it want to roll down and forward on you? Did you take it with you? Is that maybe something of the stagnation that we didn't need, and we can just let that left shoulder go up and back? Give it back to the winter. Maybe right fingertips to the sky, maybe not. Now either bring your hand down onto a block at its lowest setting or bring your left hand down onto the floor. So the one that's already connected to the floor or block. Spread that left hand wide. Take your right hand onto your hip. Take your left shoulder up and back. And from that place where the blanket was at the very beginning of class, press down into the earth. Is it okay if I scooch in here a little bit? Okay. Now start to lift your back heel high and spin your back heel towards the left. Your toes start to point towards the brick wall. Heel toe your front foot back a little bit. Those toes face towards the brick wall. You're in a very weird side plank. Yeah? From the bottom of your heart, press down and lift your hip up into your hand. Option to take your top arm all the way overhead. On your next breath, slowly untwist. Bring your both hands down to the mat. Downward facing dog. Check it out. Did that kind of get in there? Yeah? Yeah, that's some frozen ground from the winter. Anyone else? Any questions on that one? Does anyone need to see it? Yeah? Yeah, because I was in the worst place. So you can stay in downward facing. You can take a round of vinyasa. You could take any restful pose. And I'll just show real quick, because this one's a little confusing. So we come from the lunge here, and this is what likes to happen. You see this? And then we're moving towards the side plank, and then we're putting all of our pressure onto the shoulder that's moving down and forward. And you know what this reminds me of? These. I don't know about y'all, but I'm already really good at these. Try something else. Shoulder up and back. And then it's not just like sinking under the weight of life, even though sometimes that feels like all we can do. It's pressing back into the earth to find that lift. And then the back heel will fall to the floor. Front toes will point this way. Side plank. I love having hand to hip here because you get a little pressure, a little remembrance to, and then it's all in here. Help to see? Yeah, breathe. Yeah. Side two. Down, we getting a little warmer? Ah, little snowbells. I love it. Generating the heat to go back out into the day. Downward facing dog. And you did a lot on one side, yeah? Notice the difference between your sensation in your right leg and the sensation in your left leg, and what difference a difference can make. On your next inhale, lift your left leg high to the sky. And we'll do those same things. Look down or around your body, or visualize your toes. Are they open towards the left side of your mat? If they are, dial them down, yes, towards the earth. Now keep that, hug your left inner thigh towards the midline, like you have that imaginary block, and then from your left inner thigh, that's what's gonna lift your heel a little bit higher. Yes, take an inhale. Exhale, step through, around, helping hand, find your lunge. Take a moment to feel both feet on the ground. Whew. Hug your legs towards center, and on your next inhale, rise up, high lunge. See that your left knee and toes are facing straight ahead. Go. Hands can stay overhead or hands can come to hips. Soft bend in your back leg. One step or many. Right knee up towards your chest. It's good to see you. Flex your right foot. Outer ankle over knee. Sit back and down, pigeon chair. Since you have the wall behind.
And this is not going to help, so I'll do what I can.
Yeah, of course. Another option. I just love having a little extra stability on this one.
Okay, we can do it.
Yeah, just a try. Of course. As you sit down, sit back. Draw your ribs back, shoulders back, head back. On your next inhale, lift up, knee to chest. Exhale, slow motion all the way back, find your lunge. Right hand onto your block or the floor. Left hand to your left hip. It likes to scooch forward. Can you wrap it back? As you inhale, get long through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, twist your heart to the left. And just that little check, like what are you bringing with you into the cycle of rebirth? Is right shoulder doing the desk shrimp doom scroll thing? Or can you take your right shoulder up and back a little bit? No judgment. Just a question. Maybe left fingertips to the sky, maybe not. You're actually a little overcorrected here. Is it okay to touch? You can lift this hip up a little bit. Yeah, and then this hip back a little bit. There you go. That's gonna be a little more square for you. Does that feel okay? And then maybe left hand onto a block, left hand onto your hip, right hand onto a block at its lowest setting or the floor. From the bottom of your heart, and then start to lift your back heel up. Let your heel spin to the right and walk your front foot back on your mat. And you might actually bring them like forward off of the bamboo. It might give you a little more space there. How's that? And if you have your hand to hip, press down into your right hand and lift your hip up into your hand. Your next inhale, untwist both hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Whew. Yeah, sorry if you know me from the Wednesday nights. I used to teach a class that was like, we didn't even stand. I'll teach that again. But you know. We're gonna try and make it work. We'll make it work. Well, I'm working on something. I know I miss the Wednesday nights too. You can stay in downward facing. You can take table, child's pose, or let your breath carry. Okay.
That's why I left.
Fair enough. And if you were also feeling hot, if you were also feeling like, wow, we're doing, what could it feel like to tap back into your breath? Because maybe your heart sped up. Maybe even take your hands to your heart. And in the moments where shit moves real fast, where a lot is going on, there might be value in remembering the places where you're connected to the earth, the fact that your heart is beating, and your body is breathing. In your own time, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, right foot forward, in between your hands. Spin your back heel to the mat. Climb your right forearm up onto your right thigh. That's your right. Nice. Left hand to your left hip, extended side angle. And still, right knee and toes face straight ahead. Sometimes the knee likes to knock in. Can you guide it more in the direction of your second toe? And then take your top arm right out in front of you, parallel to the mat. Take a big breath in like we did in that first cat-cow and lengthen from hips to armpit. Shoulder towards the ear and then slide your shoulder blade back like you're trying to hold a little marshmallow in between your two shoulder blades. Now keep that as you take your top arm overhead. We were talking in yoga teacher training yesterday about how sometimes that overhead transition doesn't feel the greatest on the shoulder, so sometimes that little might offer a little more ease. Now top arm straight up towards the sky like you had, like you were a little snowbell, yeah? Top fingertips release you up into warrior two. Press your front leg towards straight. Turn both sets of toes towards the brick wall, hands to hips. And actually, if you have your strap, now would be a great time to take it behind your back. If you'd like it, it's just behind you. And hold on to your strap. Thumbs face in, fingers point behind you, yeah? Now the tendency when hands come behind is this, yeah? Shoulders go down and forward and all this gets a little bit smaller. So as you inhale, make shoulders up and back. Now, we're all different bodies. Some folks are actually really good at this part, yeah? So it might be more looking towards your heart to take your ribs back so that your shoulders have something to hold on to when you take your shoulders back. Does that make sense? Oh, cool. It's okay if it doesn't too. Try and pull your strap apart. Feel the shoulder blades light up a little bit. Keep that as you inhale, start to lift your hands away from your hips. Little shoulder stretch. And notice as you stretch through shoulders, does something else want to tense? We're like shoulder stretch. So rather than a transfer of tension, maybe you open and close the jaw for a little softness. Stay exactly as you are, or on your next exhale, bend forward, flow forward. Head gets heavy towards the floor, arms overhead. Another nod your head, yes. Another shake your head, no. Another open and close your jaw. And then start to drop your hands, drop the strap, hands to the mat, start to walk back through a lunge, take it back to either downward facing dog or a forward fold at the front of your mat. We can move differently and still move together. If you're in downward facing dog, on your next inhale, lift your left leg high to the sky. Exhale, step it through. And if you're in the forward bend, just step your right leg back. And then everyone spin your back heel to the mat. Left forearm to thigh, right hand to right hip. Nice. Notice if your toes want to turn in. You might make them face a little more straight ahead. And then use the connection that you have to yourself. Press your arm into your leg to press your leg back into your arm and use that tension to open your chest towards the flat wall. Sorry, this is like the tiny, can I get on your mat a little bit? Is that super annoying? And then top arm can come straight out ahead. Big breath in, define length. And then retract shoulder back like you could hold a little marshmallow. Does that help? Now keep that arm overhead. A breath in, down, and wide. A breath up, through, and out. Top fingers to the sky. Inhale, come all the way up. Straighten your front leg. Turn your toes in. We're just getting real cozy. Hands to hips. No, you're fine. Now start to turn your toes towards the corners of your mat and your heels come in a little bit. Even lift and spread your toes. You might feel the arches of your feet light up a little bit. Press your heels. They're not going to move, but do the action of pressing your heels forward. You feel some of this light up? Whew, keep that. Start to sit low. A little goddess pose. Yeah, and like I just naturally do this little side to side. You might too. I think it just feels nice. a little sway, a little rock. Until it gets smaller and smaller, you find something like stillness. And then notice the tendency here, knees collapsing in, yeah? You might take your hands inside your thighs and press your arms, your hands into your legs. Guide your knees open over the second to third toe. Press your heels forward. Maybe sit low. Press your legs into your hands. Press your hands into your legs. Sit low. Maybe goddess arms. Ground down into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Shake it out. You made it. Turn your front toes towards the front of the room. Come through your lunge. Downward facing dog. That help, Laura? Yeah. Nice. The trainees are all in the messy middle, I like to call it, of teacher training. And the 2/3 doing their classes. So there was a goddess request. Your next inhale, ripple forward. Knees stay lifted or knees to the mat. As you exhale, bend your elbows, lower all the way down. Inhale, heart forward and up, cobra. Exhale, lower. Now either make a pillow with your hands or prop yourself up on your forearms like a little kid watching TV somewhere, hopefully. Yeah? Hug your legs towards center, have that imaginary block. Bend in your right leg, right hand to reach back to find foot. Pant leg strap. Get what you got with what you got. Now you could hold on to the outer edge of your foot. And that might make your shoulder want to dip down and forward a little bit, so you might take it up and back. You might play with holding onto the inner edge of your foot and see if that offers a broadening through the chest. As you hug your hand into your foot, kick your foot back into your hand. As you release, watch the boing. Hug your legs towards center, bend in your left leg. Left hand to reach back to find foot, inside or outside, up to you. Knees like to splay, hug in towards the midline. Hug your hand into your foot, foot back into your hand. Release both legs long, pillow with your hands, let your hips shimmy side to side. Can I steal it? Oh, no, I have my own strap. Wow. And then if you'd like to take a little more time lying on your belly, you're more than welcome to. The next posture I'll be offering is a lizard lunge with a thigh stretch. And I just like to show how you can use the strap for that. I feel like the strap is like the, I don't know, I feel like it's just a little exiled when it comes to like explaining how it can work and how it can help us sometimes in yoga classes. So when it comes to reaching back to find the foot, sometimes the foot is just like a little far away, yeah? And sometimes it feels like a lot to reach for it. So I like to hold it kind of like a jump rope, give myself like a really long loop so that it's a little easier to lasso yourself. And then maybe you roll the strap up or walk your hand down just to reach it. Does that help to see? Downward facing dog. Bend in your right leg, press your left thigh back. Bend in your left leg, press your right thigh back. Nice. Both legs with a little bend. The bottom of your next inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, step it through, find your lunge. Pop your hands onto blocks at their highest setting. As you inhale, take your heart forward, gaze forward. As you exhale, press the center of your right thigh back, leg moves in the direction of straight but not locked. And take a few rounds of that. Your inhale, forward, lunge. Your exhale, thigh press back, leg in the direction of straight. 3 more times, riding the wave of your breath, not my voice. Then after that final lunge, take both hands inside your front leg. Heel toe your right toes off to the right. Right knee and toes can face out as you drop your back knee to the mat. Walk your blocks back a little bit. And it sounds counterintuitive, but take your left inner thigh up and back in space. It's almost like you're trying to stick your butt out a little bit. Right hand to your right thigh. If you're going to use the strap, now's a great time to hold it. Inhale, get long. And exhale, start to twist your heart to the right. Left shoulder up and back in space. Bend your back leg towards your butt. And with hand, strap, pant leg, get what you got with what you got. Thigh stretch. And if this one doesn't work for you, take one that does. Hips go back. Right sitting bone down. Does that feel okay? Now keep that as you bend more into your front leg. That makes sense? Kind of. That's fair. That's fair. You should, yeah. Your next inhale, watch the Boeing release. Hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Now check that out from side to side. Sometimes when the weight of the world feels heavy, when things feel frozen, it's really easy to feel like our actions, even the small ones, especially the small ones, don't make a difference. But then I do a thigh stretch on one side and come into downward facing dog and can have an embodied reminder that our actions make a difference. On your next inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale through your lunge. Through, around, helping hand, hands onto blocks at any height. Look down your body and see that your feet are on railroad tracks, not a tightrope. Yeah, life puts us on a tightrope more than enough. Take up space when you can. Hug your legs towards center. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, front leg in the direction of straight. Your inhale, forward lunge. Your exhale, front leg in the direction of straight. 3 more times, your breath, not my voice. Well, that works out well for this part. And then after your third round, or if you just lost count, come back to your lunge. Take both hands inside your front leg. Drop your back knee to the mat. Heel toe your front foot out, and your toes can turn out, knees just follow, knee follows as well. Walk your blocks back a little bit. And then hug your back knee down and forward. It might even roll you onto that little fat pad above the knee, not the knee bone itself. And shift your hips back just a little bit. Bend in your back leg, and with strap or not, reach back for your back foot. And if this is the thigh stretch is not the one you want to be in this moment, take a different one. All good. As you inhale, get long. Exhale, wrap yourself around yourself. Your next inhale to untwist, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Okay, we have a little more in us. One more little run. All right. Generated a little bit of heat, about to melted a little snow, about to unfurl. We'll see how it goes. Your next inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale through, find your lunge. Take your hands onto blocks on their highest setting. See that your right knee and toes are facing straight ahead where you want to go. Press your foot down, drag it back. Baby hop your back foot in a little bit. Walk your blocks like 2 feet out in front of you, but who knows what a foot is right now? And start to get more weight into your standing leg. Flex your back foot, let your toes hover just off of the ground. Hug your left leg towards the midline. Lift your left heel high, and then on your next exhale, press into your standing leg. Supported warrior 3. Toes face down towards the mat. Hug your legs towards center. Right hand onto your right hip. Wrap your right hip back. Inhale, get long. And as you exhale, start to twist your heart towards the brick wall. Yes, that's the way. Hug your back leg towards the midline. Both shoulders up and back. Maybe right fingertips to the sky, maybe not. Breathe. Your next inhale, untwist. Slow motion all the way back. Whew. Maybe a big breath in, just a little finish. Hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. That looked like a bunch of really beautiful snowbells. And what I love is that everyone has their own flavor. It's not about looking like the person next to you on the mat or whatever yoga looks like on Instagram, which sometimes can be cool, but it's about finding your expression. Were there any questions on that pose, any sticky spots that you'd like clarified? It's kind of like a what the F pose, yeah?
Does it help to move the arm that's like on the ground closer to the midline when you're twisting, or should it stay square?
I like it directly underneath the shoulder. That's where I find the most stability, because then it sort of turns into, you know the pose like bird dog, when you're like normally I'll teach that first. Yeah. I didn't, but it kind of turns into an extended bird dog. Okay. The tendency that I see with the front arm is this. Yeah. Is like the block really far back, and then you've got a teeny tiny little point of balance. So that's why I said reach way out in front. Yeah. Any other questions? How do you keep the standing? Great question. Does anyone get the belly to thigh collapse, like hip bone sitting on thigh bone? Yeah, same. It kind of looks like this. Yeah, is that what we're talking about? And then it gets like, and then like the stretch really isn't in the center of the hamstring. It kind of moves up towards the attachment, and it doesn't feel great. So we've actually been doing the answer to that almost all class, which is that pushing into the earth so that ribs can come back. And remember when we were in a chair pose? Sitting bone down. You see how much space I just made for myself? So it's pressing down into your heel. It's like the weight of the world wants us to collapse us, yeah? That's what it does. It can. They're also beautiful things. So as you press down, and I'll speak to more on the second side, press down, ribs up, and then sitting bone reaches down. Oh, yeah. Is that straight but not locked making sense? Yeah, because we're looking for a straight leg, yeah, but not one that's just without engagement. So that little bend can be really helpful to find a little more movement as you're trying to adjust those things. And it might be like a bend. That's okay. Was there one more question? Oh, great. I love when you ask a question, someone else in the room probably has it too. Downward facing dog. One more side. If you'd like I said, do what you want to do. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale through lunge. Hands onto blocks at their highest setting. Left knee and toes face straight ahead. And even here, can you press your hands down, lift your ribs up and back, and your left sitting bone towards your left heel? That makes sense, Katie? Yeah, cool. Now walk your blocks way out in front of you. Keep that. Get more weight into your standing leg. Maybe even flex your foot so they just float off the ground. Keep a bend in your standing leg. Hug your leg towards the midline. From your inner thigh, lift your heel. And with that bend in your standing leg, press down into the blocks, lift your ribs up, and your left sitting bone towards your heel. Is that making space, Chris? Nice. Inhale, get long. Maybe exhale, twist your heart to the other side, your left. Back leg towards the midline, shoulders up and back, lean back over your heart. Inhale, untwist. Slow-mo all the way back. Simone Biles finish. Downward facing dog. Either take your final vinyasa, class, or drop your knees to the mat to come onto your belly or child's pose. Flip onto your backs, heads towards the front of the room. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Have a block within reach. Have your feet hip-width distance apart underneath your knees. And then take your arms into what I like to call robot arms. Elbows on the mat, fingertips towards the sky, palms face one another. And it's like a little eat-er, yeah? Take a breath in and just walk your shoulders closer to the top of your mat. Make them a little more space for yourself. Press your elbows down into the mat. Take a big breath in and then hug your two shoulder blades behind you. That little marshmallow hold. Now keep that pressed down into your feet. Inhale, lift your hips, bridge pose. Now it could stay an active bridge. If you know and love and want Urdhva Dhanurasana, you could take that. If you like a more supported version, you could take a block underneath your hips at its lowest or second lowest setting. If the highest setting works for you, that's great. I find it very pointy. Two blocks lowest. It's the same height. Here, can I? Yes, please. There we go. Is that all in a good, better place? Nice. Press the center back of your skull into the mat. Take your hands to your mat. And again, you can even pull your mat in half, like you're trying to rip it apart. Now, as long as none of your neck vertebrae are on the mat, option to start to lift your right knee over your hip. And maybe you keep it there and lift your left knee over your hip. Both knees could stay bent, or maybe extend both heels up to the sky. How are you with the breeze?
I love it.
Okay, great. We'll leave it for you. Start to rebend both legs, both feet onto the mat. Lift your hips just as much as you need to slide the block from underneath you. And feel all of you connect to the earth. You could take your feet a little wider on your mat, let your knees knock in. Maybe one hand to heart, one hand to belly as you breathe. As you breathe, be breathed. If you notice one side of your breath is longer than the other, start to bring the shorter side to meet the longer side. Guy, would you like a chair for Shavasana since you've got this going on? A chair? Melissa, could you grab a chair from downstairs? And then your feet can come as wide as your mat. And with your breath, an inhale, exhale, knees over to one side. Let's go to the right. We're a little tight in here today. Inhale, knees through center and over to the left. With your breath, inhale through center. Exhale, knees to one side. Surprise, keep going. And then the next time your knees fall to the right, you could stay to that right side. You could take your arms back into that goddess shape. We'll be there. Well, you can start whenever you'd like, but we might do a little more cool down. And then up to you, you could take your right outer ankle above your left knee. You could heel toe your left foot a little to the left. You could reach your left arm up at a diagonal, like you were trying to reach for an extra bolster or blanket. So you're making one long, which will be towards your left side. Yeah. Like you're making one long line of energy from left fingertips, switch hands. See how, and then you feel yeah. And you feel the space from left fingertips to left armpit. Left armpit through the left side of your waist. Left hip point down and out through left knee. A long breath in. Bless. And an easeful breath out. Now, if you have the foot on top of ankle, you can stay. Keep it there. Inhale, and then everyone inhale, lift your left knee up towards the sky. And if your other foot is hanging, take your right outer ankle above your left knee, figure 4. Flex your right foot. And you could take your right hand to your thigh to press your right leg away, or bend your left knee into your chest to hold on to the back of your left leg. Right hand goes through that little. And look, we're back in pigeon chair, but a different relationship. Left foot to the mat, right foot to the mat. Feet wide and both knees over to the left. Maybe left outer ankle above right knee. Maybe you heel toe right foot over to the right. Maybe you reach your right arm overhead at that diagonal like you were trying to reach towards the big windows in the studio. A long breath in to find space from right fingertip to armpit, armpit to hip, hip down and out through right knee. If you have the foot, you can keep it as you come up. And we'll meet in figure 4. So if you don't have the knee over ankle, towards the sky, left out, right. Left hand to thigh, or hands behind your right thigh. Maybe notice what you notice in your left hip. And if it's tension or sensation, did any of that trigger the left side of your jaw? And maybe once again, you just open and close your jaw ever so slightly. And then drop your right foot to the mat, left foot to the mat. Take long, reach both arms all the way overhead. Take a full breath in to let it go. Another full inhalation. Maybe sniffing a little more air at the top. Exhale, draw your knees to your belly. Knees can go wide. Give yourself a hug. You can hold on, and knees can go wide, toes can touch. For any variation of happy baby, so it could be the holding onto the tops of your knees, or maybe your shins, or maybe the soles of your feet start to point towards the sky. And hold on to the outer edges of your feet. But if you feel like that makes your shoulders really pull off of the mat, just slide your hands back a little bit onto your shins or knees. And then drop both of your feet to the mat. And start to make your way to the most comfortable, restful position you can find. That might be lying on your back. It might be lying on your back with some propping underneath your knees. So one variation, and if you're uncertain, you can look up, is to take 2 blocks on their lowest setting or a bolster onto your mat about 1/3 of the way from the bottom. You can roll up a blanket and place that on top of your bolster or on top of your blocks so that when you swing your legs over, your knees are a little bit bent. Now, if you're setting up your Shavasana, move 50% slower.
Does anyone want a bolster? One.
If there's any prop that you would like that you don't have, just raise your hand, we'll come by. And if you're anything less than comfortable, raise a hand and we'll come by. And as you start to settle in here, you might notice you'd like to add a layer or put your socks back on. You may see if you could become 1% more comfortable. That might be in a shift of your hips, a shift of your props, or maybe acknowledging and setting aside for now the thought in the mind. Feel better. And in this time, there is no right or wrong, just what serves to draw you in towards yourself and the self of yourself. Can we try something real quick? It's just so pointy. Yeah. Better? And as you begin to rest here, invitation to call in a way of breathing known as Bhramari Pranayama, the humming of the bee's breath. You're fine, we're good. I love it because it is truly a simple breath that might invite you inward to hear your own sacred sound and vibration more clearly. All there is to do is receive your next natural inhale. And as you exhale with your mouth and lips closed, make a low and quiet humming sound. As you exhale, press all the air out. And let your awareness be held by your own sound. And keep going if you'd like. And start to let the sound become quieter so that the person on the mat next to you can't hear, but you hear yourself with your inner ear. A quiet internal hum. The same hum the earth has been doing all winter long. Maybe not seeable by the external, but knowable when you listen. And the next time you complete that humming exhale, let the sound and vibration go. Let your breath return back to its natural rhythm as you let your body breathe. And you might keep your awareness on the feeling of the ground beneath you, the parts of yourself that are connected to the earth, parts of your heels, your hips, the back bottom of your heart, the back of your head. You might feel all of these points of contact, all of these points of connection between you and the earth. You might feel all of these points of connection all at once. Heels, hips, heart, and head. And the next time your physical body exhales, let something somewhere soften and widen into the support of the earth beneath you. You could keep your awareness on that feeling and that connection to the earth, or to the fact that you are breathing. Or if you'd like to move your awareness throughout your body, you could follow my voice. I will say a part of yourself. You can notice that part and let that part soften and widen into the earth. Like the top of your head. And the features of your face, your forehead, the space between your eyebrows, your cheeks and jaw, maybe even your ears soften towards the back of your head. The back of your head softens towards the earth. Your neck and throat. Shoulders and arms. Hands and fingers. Fingers and hands. Arms and shoulders. The front of your chest. The sides of your ribs. The back of your heart. your belly and waist, mid and low back, the front of your hips, the sides, the back of your hips, your legs, feet, and toes. The whole front of your body. The whole front of your body softens into the whole back of your body. The whole back of your body could soften and widen into the support of the earth, your whole body. Your whole body, from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes, your whole body. Every layer of you seen and unseen. Let your whole body rest here. Your whole body start to remember that your whole body is breathing here. And let your body breathe. You might start to slow down the beginning of your next breath in. Slow down and maybe even savor the end of your next breath out. And as you begin to re-engage with your breath, let your breath begin to call you back down to earth, to call you back from the earth, and start to place you back in the here and now, this precarious place between all that has been, all that is yet to be, where you were placed with power and purpose. Sense that your next inhalation could be received through every pore on your skin, as your next exhalation unfurls through every fiber of your being. As you feel the ground beneath you, remember the air above you. Find yourself here at center. You could start to wiggle your toes. Let your fingers graze across the texture of whatever they are touching, your skin or clothing, the floor or mat. Start to let your tongue move clockwise in your mouth. And let these seemingly small movements, these generative little disruptions start to expand into your ankles and wrists, your legs and arms. Maybe you let your head sway a little side to side as you move yourself in any way any layer of your being requires to begin to reawaken. And the next time you inhale, you might reach your arms up towards the sky or all the way overhead for a full and long breath in. And as you exhale, wrap your arms around your chest, give yourself a hug. Maybe even turn your head to blow each shoulder or give each shoulder a little kiss, a little thank you to your body, your vessel that has carried you through this practice, through this day, and through a very long winter and every day so far. You might inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, either plant your feet on the mat or draw your knees towards your belly for a hug. Roll over onto your right side. Pausing here for just a moment in this little seed-like form, just to feel the ground. Notice the breath moving through you. Carry with you the light within you. Use just the effort needed to press down into the earth. Press yourself up to any comfortable seat. Eyes closed, maybe up on propping. Maybe hands in front of your heart like Anjali Mudra, or anywhere on your body that feels like center. And we'll seal in our time together with 3 collective breaths. Your next inhale, in, down, and wide. Full exhale, up, through, and out. Your breath in. Your release out. Once more. Close your lips. Let the breath move in and out through your nose as you bow your head towards your heart, towards your center, towards each other, towards yourself. May all beings everywhere know joy, liberation, and be free from suffering. And may our practices on and off the mat support that joy and liberation for all. You could take your hands in front of your heart and just start to rub your hands back and forth, back and forth. Feel a warmth, a friction between your hands. Take an inhale. Exhale, warm hands, cover your eyes. Calling in both the warmth and also that cooling and nourishing darkness. As you let your hands fade away from your face, notice any light that filters in behind your closed eyelids. And as you're ready, start to blink open and widen your eyes. Let the light of the room, the light of one another back into your vision. Thank you so much for being here, for doing this together on a Sunday morning. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, a wonderful week ahead. If you have any questions, I have a couple minutes after class, so I would love to say hi to folks who maybe this is our first time practicing together. I will be subbing again on April 19th for this class, so come through if you liked it, avoid it if you don't. Otherwise, have a good rest of your day. See ya. And sorry to the live stream, y'all got some weird angles in my face. I was like way too close to that thing a couple times. Thanks.
What flowers do you grow in your farm?
A bunch, but right now we're doing the daffodils. They're the first to come. Tulips, snapdragons, dahlias, mums. We grow a lot. Yeah. Oh, daffodils, what a good choice.
Yesterday when I came in.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it was so funny. These were the first flowers that popped at the farm, and it was like literally the day of the final day of Navaratri, which is like one of the like most auspicious of the days. And I was just like, wow, how is that timing? That's amazing.
Where in Bucks County?
Just outside of Quakertown.
Okay, nice. I'm
Yeah.
from Smith Square, so similar.
Okay.
Real